Hey guys, so the following video is an interview that I did with one of our clients, Matthew, down in New Orleans. I get asked all the time, what is it actually like to go from not having a short-term rental to having a short-term or medium-term rental with us, with our company? So we actually went out and we found this property for him, negotiated the lease with the landlord, and our interior design team actually went out and flew out there in person and designed his property. I'll put a before and after right here of his property, and so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. We referenced it a bunch of times in the actual interview. But without further ado, here's the interview. All right, so we're here with Matt, and Matt's one of our clients in the program. And I wanted to jump on here and interview you just because your situation's a little bit unique. I'd say you went a route that most of our clients don't go. We have a few that have successfully done what you've done as well, but I'm actually looking to share a little bit more about it because I think it's super interesting. So Matt went out and got a property in New Orleans in a place where Airbnb or short-term rentals is actually, is it fully illegal, or is it just like a difficult permitting process?
It's very difficult. It's just the zoning area and a hassle to get through for short term.
Right. So you decided like, okay, short-term is defined in I think every single state and county as less than 30-day stays. Some places it's 28 days. So what made you decide like, okay, rather than going somewhere else or going outside the city or a different city in uh in this area, I'm just gonna do medium term stays.
What drove me was the travel nurses. I was like, these people need a place to stay. If there's a huge market for it out here, and I said, let's give it a go. So I knew it was a risk that I was willing to take. And for me, it turned out very successful, and I'm very thankful for it.
Nice. So give me an idea of like, so I'm assuming we chat a little bit. You said that you found us on TikTok. So when I first got on TikTok, I thought, it was kind of like you hide that app on your phone. You don't let anybody know you're on there because this is like clearly just for kids and like dances and stuff like that. So you got on TikTok, you saw us on there, and then what kind of just piqued your interest?
I've always been fascinated by the Airbnb rental arbitrage, and the guy that I saw on TikTok was very successful with it. And I knew going into the long-term rental stay was a little bit of a risk. I said, screw it. Let's just try it out. And I saw that you guys were extremely successful, and I devoted all my trust to you guys, and it worked out great.
Nice.
TikTok,
So
go ahead.
walk me through the process of like, so you signed up, then what happened? You did an onboarding call. We started looking for your property. What was that process like?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a little intimidating because I
Hmm.
didn't know anything about you guys. But when I went through it, I kind of was keeping track of the guy that I saw on TikTok, and he was like, "This is what we did. This is what we did," and I stayed very in close contact with you guys to make sure everything was going right. Um,
Who
and
is
it
your acquisition manager?
Dustin.
Okay,
So
awesome.
at yeah. So Dustin helped me out. At first, it was Sunil. I think something happened to him, but then Dustin took over, and Dustin was phenomenal. And he answered all my questions. I was blowing this dude up like every single day, and he really helped me out.
Nice. So when you guys came across this property, what was it that you and Dustin liked about this property?
Just it was in a great location for the French Quarter, and also near the hospital district. Um, Dustin, so Dustin found a few properties outside of the area, and like I've been out here for 10 years now, and I was like, Dustin, not the best neighborhood. I don't think it's the best out here. And he was like, he worked he worked with me to kind of meet my needs and his needs as well. He was like, I don't think it's going to be successful out here. It's going to be successful out here. So we worked together, and we found a property that was a great fit, and it was brand newly renovated. It was brand new, and it turned out great.
Yeah, New Orleans is one of those weird places where it's not like the city's very segmented in terms of like this side's clearly a good neighborhood, this side's clearly a bad neighborhood. It's kind of like very patchy.
Right.
So in that case, like that's typically not one of the markets that we do unless it's like your situation where like someone lives there and they know it. We do have a couple different strategies though to know like what the demographics are of any given neighborhood. So we look at like property crime statistics and violent crime statistics, and these things are kind of indexed. So if we put in an address, we can plug it in and be like, okay, this has, way higher than the national average property crime or violent crime or whatever. And that's how we kind of know without being there if it's a good or a bad neighborhood. Cool. So another thing I think you used our not graphic design, you used our interior design services. What made you do that? And being as how like you're there in the city, a lot of our clients actually aren't even in the same city as their short-term rental or midterm rental. So what made you want to use our designers?
I trust you guys. I've seen a lot of success through other clients, especially logging online. I did this, I did that, I changed this, I changed that, and I kind of just went all in. And I was like, if they're gonna help me out, then they're gonna go the full way. So I did everything I could do to kind of fully put my trust in you guys, and it turned out great. So Cherie was the designer, and she was phenomenal. She worked within my budget, honestly below budget a little bit, and she furnished the place great. Like couldn't be
Yeah,
better.
I'll put up some photos, or I'll have our editor put up some photos of your place, because I saw it and I was blown away by like just the color scheme. I was just like, this is not something that if you don't have experience with this, that you could have like anyone could have thought of. Like I was like, I wouldn't have done it that well.
Right. I was touching base with her the whole time, and I was like, this is like, I would have never been able to do this. The fruit on the island, I was like, I would have never thought of this. Like,
Yeah, and the color scheme, like the pink with the green scheme, I was just like, man, this is just so good. And she flew out there in person. She lives here in Denver. Flew out there in person. She stayed at the property to save money that way as well.
yeah.
So yeah, we're super happy with our interior design team, and it's a lot of work for them. Like they're on the road most of the month, going from not California, sorry, we don't do any short terms there. From San Antonio to Houston to Fort Lauderdale to New Orleans, all in 1 month, and staying at the place, and finding these neighborhoods. And a lot of times they get there and like all it is a bed, and they're just like in there.
Right.
So big shout out to them. So you got the property, you got it up and running. What do you do kind of full time?
Timeshare. It's a
Nice.
little gray. It's a gray area. Don't think of it negatively, but it's phenomenal. We're always putting people on vacation. I love it.
So you're
It's like that
super busy though.
always.
And you wouldn't have, do you think you would have had the time to like find this property yourself, find the designer, or anything like that?
Not at all. I'm at work I work 6 days a week, like 9 to 8 o'clock. Today, Fridays are my only day off. So
Wow.
I would have never found the time to do this. So I'm very thankful that they were there.
So you got your property up and running, and you're doing the 30-day stays and above because of the zoning in New Orleans. This is actually something that we're developing a lot more in the program. We're actually hiring a coach that is like an expert in medium term stays, and we're going to build out modules for this. She's going to help in the program. So this is something that I've actively been so interested in, because of the fact that, like, I look at your situation, and short-term rentals are incredibly difficult to get in your area. So if you're able to launch a medium-term stay, there's just very, very little competition, because not everybody's going to go through realizing that it's difficult to jump through these hoops on a short term. Let me just do a medium term instead. So the competition is actually a lot lower. And with medium term stays, you don't have to worry about short term rental regulation. So it's actually a huge advantage when you can be in an area where short terms are highly regulated or even banned, and you have like the only game in town for a medium term stay. So it's something that we're looking to develop a lot, because then we can open up anywhere. Like we can open up in the most strict short-term rental markets, like for example, downtown Denver, which creates a huge advantage. So you throw the property up as a medium term, so meaning 30 days or more. And then what happened from there?
I kind of just hoped for the best. When after Cherie left, she sent me all the you guys literally did everything A to Z, furnished the place, Wi-Fi, lockbox, everything. And after Cherie sent me the photos from the professional photographer, I was like, what's the worst that could happen? So I threw it up on Airbnb. I kind of made a detailed description, and just hoping somebody would latch in within 2 days. Somebody caught on for 32 days, and that was the first booking that I had, and it was
And
nuts.
do you know what's the nature of this day?
He messaged me and he said he is down here for like, I think he does. He like looks over buildings. He does contracting for buildings and making sure buildings are up to standard. So him and his team, I think there's 3 of them. He's like, hey Matt, we're coming in town. We're gonna check out these buildings, and we'd love to stay with you. I was like, phenomenal. Like I told him it's my first booking. I was like, thanks for booking with me. Like I'm super excited. Like if you don't need anything, let me know. So it was great. It was great. Couldn't have worked out better.
Nice. And when do they checked in yet?
They check in tomorrow, actually. I'm sorry, the
Okay.
18th, 2 days.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so yeah, that's awesome. So you threw it up there, got a booking right away. And if you don't mind sharing the numbers behind your rent and what that booking is.
Of course. So my rent is 2,400 for a 3-bedroom house, and then he booked for 32 days, which came out to 30. It was like 38.86. So about a 1,400 profit margin, and then I didn't realize that Airbnb pays out the cleaning fee as well. So it was another like 250 on top of that. So
Yeah.
roughly $4,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so minimum that's going to be like $1,500 in profit. You don't have any check-ins, checkouts. You don't really have to provide a ton of supplies outside of for long stays like that. I give them the basic supplies. I'll give them 4 rolls of toilet paper, a couple paper towels, and then after that, it's kind of on them. So It's very, very minimal work. And you made $1,500, which I don't think is bad considering that you have no reviews. You're honestly if you got to book that quickly with no reviews, your pricing was probably a little bit low as well. Yeah. So I could see this booking doing, and also there's different kinds of stays. So like this person, he's coming into town for building inspections. That sounds like a big money, stay. So to stay at a nice place with 3 dudes, like the company's paying what, $1,000 ish per person, or like $1,250 per person, something like that. So ultimately, I see a lot more room to get multi-month stays, and that's a few of the things we talked about before the call. Different ways that you can get those longer stays, and I love them because they're just honestly less work. Like people are checking, there's no check-in, no check-outs. There's no like, hey, the lockbox isn't working, or hey, it's dark and I can't see which house it is, or whatever. Like you're gonna like forget this person's even there by like the 3rd or 4th day.
Right.
So yeah, and you only used one of the methods to get bookings. Like I before the call, I went over like 3 or 4 other things you should be doing, and all that does is increase the demand, which and you have limited supply, so you can ultimately charge more and just kind of keep pushing it, right? So dude, fantastic job so far. I think this is super awesome to see. And what would you say to somebody who's like, they're watching this, they're on the fence, they're maybe in your position, like they're super busy working 6 days a week, but I've been in the position too where you're working so much, the money's kind of piling up, and you're like, man, I need to do something with this, because if I don't do something, like all I'm going to do is pay taxes and it's just going to sit here.
Right. Do it. Like, honestly, dude, I was so like, from personal experience, I was extremely on the fence. Is this the right thing? Can I handle it myself? Da, 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 da. Just do it. Pull the trigger and just go for it, because it's going to pay off. And
yeah, and I get it. Like, it's scary. You found us on TikTok. Like, are you gonna like imagine telling your parents or something like, hey, I found these guys on TikTok and I'm gonna pay them all this money to find me an Airbnb. It sounds insane.
My parents,
cool.
Yeah, my parents flipped when I told them, but I was like, I paid this company a lot of money to help me find my Airbnb, and my mom was like, are you serious? Is this the right people? Like, do you know who you're talking to? I was like, calm down.
Are they even in the United States? Like,
but 2 weeks later was phenomenal. So pull the trigger, do it. You know, to make money, you got to spend money. So it'll pay off.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. We look forward to doing a follow-up when you hit, 3 or 5 properties.
Of course. You guys are going to be my go-tos. I appreciate all your help.